Seems like Serena Hudson is burnt out on imagining on the grounds that she has admitted that income sans work had been her objective. All along, the boldness of this young lady has forever been disturbing. Yet this time she went past all constraints of disgrace. Serena expressed that she generally felt that Wendy Williams had a lot of cash and wouldn't have the option to burn through this multitude of millions. At any rate, to this end, Serena was so resolute in her arrangements to dive into Wendy Williams' ledger and involved Kevin as her device. Yet what is Wendy's take on this? Hey everybody, and welcome back to Celeb Live channel. I keep my eyes on the most shameful occasions in the entertainment biz and continuously present to you the most blazing updates. Embarrassment may be Sharina Hudson's center name, since she positively partakes in the wreck she makes with her stupid explanations. This time she thought for even a second to say that she wasn't wanting to work since Wendy had sufficient cash to pay for herself as well as Kevin's lavish way of life. Envision the nerve of this young lady. I'm almost certain that Wendy has a remark, consequently, on the grounds that when your ex's escort opens her little mouth and says that you can't just remain quiet. So assuming that I were you, I would stick for the rest of this video, since this wreck is genuine, so it doesn't appear an over-the-top mystery coarseness that Sharina Hudson was remaining with Kevin for one reason, just to wash in extravagance and partake in the way of life of a genuine VIP. Clearly, Sharina thought about that she wasn't equipped to deal with difficult work like most of us. She had confidence in her Cinderella story, where a divine helper gets her an enchanting and rich ruler. And despite the fact that she could trick Kevin Tracker and persuade him regarding her affection, Wendy has consistently seen directly through her. The previous television have said about Sharina. She was one of these not exactly brilliant ladies who moved to the large city with splendid lights, and she needed to be a model, evidently, prior to transforming into a vegetarian cook and an originator. The organizations that were supported with Wendy's cash, Sharina was doing low-capability occupations at parties searching for rich men. Since this is precisely where Kevin got her, as Wendy admitted, Sharina had been really working at her party, where she had an opportunity to acquaint herself with Kevin. Wendy portrayed her calling exhaustively, saying, you know how the young ladies with the sparkler champagne bottles at the club, they get individuals to spend more cash, they dress meagerly clad. And that's what things like. And you might feel that Wendy was saying that since she resented Sharina, well, she reserved the privilege to be after draw this young lady destroyed her marriage, and in a roundabout way took from her. Yet, as a matter of fact, it was Sharina who has forever been envious of Wendy. Her prosperity, the public veneration, her wealth, and extravagance life. Wendy had all that Sharina needed for herself, so this young lady made a plan to gradually take everything from the television, beginning with her significant other. Yet tragically for Sharina, Kevin didn't race to seek legal separation. Serena might have spent the remainder of her life partaking in her gifts and organizations, in spite of the fact that she previously got the mark of a gold digger from Wendy's fans. I discovered that Kevin spent a little fortune on Sharina individuals, hammered them via web-based entertainment. One individual remarked how debilitated and turned is it to imagine that you're qualified for live-off cash that you didn't procure. Both Serena and Kevin need to quit attempting to drag this out and go land positions. Yet Serena's eagerness and self-importance were too enormous to even think about making do with the straightforward job of a paramour. She needed to have Kevin all to herself just to take care of her self-image. That is the reason she got pregnant. Yet much to her dismay, that this was a tremendous error in light of the fact that not just Wendy petitioned for legal separation. She even made an arrangement to remove her ex totally, so Kevin lost his employment on television and his ex's divorce settlement. And Serena was troubled about that. Her extravagance and luxury started to get away from her, and bitterly she took it out on Wendy on her Instagram. I imply that nerve of this young lady is unfathomable. Yet her little stunt didn't work, since you might have tricked Kevin Tracker into cherishing you, yet you are a nitwit yourself. if you feel compelled to pronounce battle against the sovereign of talk, Wendy Williams. So Ian having turned into the fundamental lady in Kevin Tracker's life. Serena was as yet non-fulfilled in light of the fact that in spite of the fact that Kevin could take his stuff with him, he actually didn't get Wendy's cash for herself, as well as there's really a robust aggregate in Mrs. Williams' ledger to battle for. Obviously, Serena had proactively made a rundown of things she needed to purchase, since she continued driving Kevin into guaranteeing that he merits half of Wendy's millions in his recent meeting tracker expressed as the spouse for 20 or more years. And the maker of the Wendy Williams show, I was qualified for my half of all that we had, very much like some other couple separating from it. Seems like Serena expected that Kevin could truly get half of Wendy's reserve funds and keep spending this cash on her, presumably. She previously concocted a couple of more business thoughts, or saved another direct sack in the store, yet out of nowhere, all-powerful installments quit coming, and to her shock, Serena understood these checks were their primary type of revenue. And surprisingly, more Kevin and Serena have been wasting cash so foolishly that now they don't have sufficient money to cover the essential bills, considering such a monetary misfortune. Sharina couldn't imagine getting a new line of work, or perhaps advancing her flapjacks a bit harder. No, this young lady was seeing Wendy's millions undesirable and deserted by the television, have in her fantasies the large numbers that Sharina might have effectively utilized. That is the reason she persuaded herself, and afterward Kevin, to continue to battle for their portion of, regardless of what even the possibility of expenditure, the leftover cash on lawyers, doesn't startle her, since she accepts that in the end she can get more. I find it completely nervy to expect any further monetary guide from Wendy after all that they had done to her, and regardless of whether Wendy intend to spend her cash on herself. I bet she would be advised to consume it than give one more dollar to Sharina and Kevin. And I surmise many would concur with me in light of the fact that Sharina's hungers are genuinely perpetual, and on the off chance that she has nothing right, well, that is just her concern. This is Wendy's fans' message about this present circumstance. One individual remarked, ought to have shopped at Walmart, cash would have endured longer. And here's another extraordinary info. The two of them were so dumb. How is it that two could totally mature grown-ups carry on with an exceptionally luxurious way of life? Well, contingent upon another person's well-deserved dosh, whoever let them know it was everlastingly, is a terrible monetary consultant. And keeping in mind that most of fans basically broil Sharina for having barely any clue of disgrace, and honor certain individuals are sure that she is in a frantic situation. Here's one shrewd remark I saw and needed to impart to you. Barbara expresses out loud whatever different decisions does that escort Sharina have. Are there other well-off wedded men arranged holding on to go behind their wives' back with her?